It's my birthday and I'll go live if I want to, live if I want to, live if I want to. You could go live if you wanted to, boing. I'm a bit early again. I'm always early, aren't I? So I'm just going to sit here and I'll just use my, what is it called? The White Company hand cream. Jasmine, rose and neroli. Who knew? It's very nice. I'm just going to sit here now and see if anybody comes on. Lovely day today as well. Well, it's a bit weird. We just had rain, but we've now got blue sky and clouds. So, right, quarter of an inch stitch. I'm going to sit here and just wait because I'm a bit early. Here you beaver. Oh. My own mug. Clever. I think I'm only expecting a few people tonight anyway. Oh, I don't know what that is. So, yeah. Just wait and see. Wait till it's gone 6. Oh my god, my watch has gone weird. Downstairs it says 6 o'clock and up here it says 3 minutes to, so there you go. Yes. Hey, hello Sandra. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, sis. Thank you for lovely card and for my lovely flowers and for my Prezi, which is going to be spent next week. I can't wait. Gonna have so much fun, aren't we? At Stitches. Woo! Thanks for joining, sis. I hope you like this block. I'm just gonna turn this camera around a bit. This is what we're doing tonight. Block 5. Oh, that way. Block 5. Oops. Block 5. We're doing that. So, hi. If you're joining on, just drop us a message in the comments. Oh, I did, yeah. Oh, thanks, Tanya. Hello, lovely. Thanks for joining. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hi to Anthony. How are you? Thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm just gonna have a little sing-song, so I'm gonna go. It's my birthday and I'll go live if I want to, live if I want to, live if I want to. You could go live if you wanted to, do. That's my birthday song anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Yeah, I don't think I'll find my way to Broadway anytime soon, but cheers to me. Coffee. Hello. Really pushing the boat out. So I've got to be good though because I need a clear head because tomorrow I am flying off with Lucy to see Kathy in Belfast for a couple of days. So we're going to go and annoy her. Of course, Tanya. It's just coffee. You know me, love, I don't need anything. Hope you're doing all right, Tanya. I've been loving your makes this week, by the way. Yeah, I think your Mother and Sunday gifties should be well impressed by those. While I'm waiting, I think there might be a few more to come on, but while I'm just waiting, I'll yabber on. There's just a few things I just want to mention. I've got these little pink pens made. Woo-woo. So basically everyone so far who has shared a picture of their makes, who's took part in the Block of the Month, everybody's going to get one of these. So they'll be sent out over the next couple of weeks. So you're going to get a free pen. If you do get a free pen, just be careful because these have come and they have a little red end on. Excuse me. Ooh, misses. They have a little red end on. It's like a little piece of plastic. All you need to do is scrape that off. It's just to protect it and to stop it drying out in transit. So yeah, there's a nice little pink pen. You know, I love pink. So that's the one thing I wanted to say. So thank you to everybody who's done who's took part, who shared their makes, because the blocks are absolutely stunning. I'm absolutely loving seeing everybody's makes. I can't believe how different they all look. And anyone who's just joined, we're actually doing, this is block 5 in my colours. Also, can I just show you what I made today? You know, because I'm always pin and dolly, aren't I? The pin and blocks on dolly, and I felt a bit awful. So what I did is I made a mini portable design wall. So this is sticky backed fleece, and I had some whiteboard that you can get from like Hobbycraft or the range, something like that. And basically I covered it over and just added an extra bit so it doesn't sit completely flat on the surface. And yeah, so this is my little portable design board, and when I've finished, it's going to hang on, oops, excuse me, it's going to hang on hooks on the design wall over there, out of the way. But I thought this is a handy little idea. I mean, obviously this is quite big because I wanted people to see it. It just, because it's fleece, it just sticks on. You can stick pins in this if you want to as well, because it's only the whiteboard, but it's such a good idea. I mean, you might just want to make like a 12-inch square one or a 12.5-inch square one. I just had offcuts of the whiteboard and I thought, why not? This I actually got from Amazon. It's sticky back fleece. So I think I got, it might only be half a metre. I got half a metre, about 140 in length, and it was enough to cover this. So I didn't even glue the whiteboards together, just stuck it on, and it's fairly decent. So that's why we've got no dolly tonight, because the board's coming into play tonight, as you can see. So you pay a fortune for those design boards, you know, in the States. I think Laurie Holt does them, and they're about £40, £30 for one, and it comes with nice binding on, don't get me wrong, but basically it's the same type of thing as this. So if you've got some old wadding, just use some glue. If you haven't got sticky backed fleece, I just had that in. I thought, what am I going to do with it? Because I can't use it on fabric, you know, I can't put it on a quilt, but ideal for a craft project like that. So that's my little mini design wall, which I fell in love with tonight. Now, a couple of other things that I'll just also tell you some interesting things that I've done this week, really, just in case any more people come on. I'll get started in about 5 minutes. Prim. Now, Vaseline I've used their iron cleaner for such a long time, but it's really, the smell is atrocious. I think it's quite nasty, and I've since found out they're actually stopped making it now. I think just because of the smell of it, to be honest. But Prim bought out this iron cleaner. Now, I bought this from Lucy's shop because she's now a Prim stockist. It's only a couple of quid, I think £3, something like that, not expensive. So it comes like this in a stick. I haven't used this one, this is a brand new one, but I used it today because I didn't realise, but under my, now this is, it looks like it's on, but it's not, it's cold, but this had got dirty, and so it made a bit of a mark on one of my blocks. I was like, oh, didn't realise. So I had to clean my Eliso iron today. So quickly with that, no smell, no poisonous smells. I opened the window anyway, and just wiped it off, and it was fine. So that's my little discovery to stop poisoning myself when I'm cleaning the iron. I know a lot of people will use a paracetamol, but I think this is obviously less chance of you burning your fingers. So that was a good make, a good buy. The other thing as well is, some of you might see, this is a little prototype, but I'm getting these little Sharps bottles coming in soon in pink and yellow, my brand of colours. The slightly different design on the top so that the needles don't come out, and they've got a screw top on the ones that are coming. I think this one's a fixed one, and they've got Netty Made branded on them as well. I am selling them for £3.99, and I think I've either got 16 or 20 coming, I'm not quite sure, but I've sold over half of those already. They're £3.99, and it is a prototype. You won't be able to buy them anywhere else, but these are handy. So you can see it's got broken sewing machine needle in. So basically, oh Sandy, honestly, look out for a Prim cleaner next week at Stitches, hon, and just get one, because you would not believe how, I feel like burning something just to show you. Honestly, it's so simple to do and no smell, and they're so much cheaper than the Vaseline ones. Honestly, the Vaseline ones, God, terrible. Anyway, so yeah, so I've got these coming. I know some of you already ordered them, so thank you very much for that. So I have sold over half already. Now they are en route to me, so they should come next week. So if you have ordered one, I'll put them in the post as soon as I can. And then the only other thing I want to sort of touch on tonight, if I can, just because I absolutely love this, so I'm just going to step back and I'll just show you now. This is a workshop I'm doing in May. It's one of Tracy Perks from Rope and Anchor Trading Company. It's one of her quilt patterns, but I've done a hack on the pattern, the original pattern, with Tracy's permission. She knows it'll only be used, that my hack will only be taught at my workshops. Okay, but rather than piece like hundreds of little 2.5 inch squares or 2 inch squares together, 3 inch squares, I've done a hack whereby the bee quilt is stripped, so the background comes together so much faster. So you're actually only piecing the bee, which is in the original pattern. So let me just show you what the hopefully you can see this. Can you see that? There you go. So that is the bee quilt, and that's the workshop I'm doing at Lucy's Hub in May. So if anybody's interested, you just need to go onto So Pretty So Mindful's website to book on. Places are limited, but when you do that workshop, you get the full kit. The fabrics are pre-cut, so all you've got to do is make a couple of half square triangles up, and then you can get ready to start your placements and sew. So you get pre-cut kit, you get the full pattern from Tracy. If you want to do it the traditional way, you get the hack pattern from me. So that's an extra that you won't be able to get anywhere else. Places are limited to 10 in situ in the hub. We can also do it online if you want to do it online as well, okay? And if you do it online, oh, hi Joanne, thank you, thanks for coming. I have had quite a nice day actually, it's been really lovely. I haven't done anything major, but I've just enjoyed myself, which is nice, and I feel better as well, so that's a bonus. Yeah, so if anybody does want to do the bee quilt and you want to do it online, it can be taught online. It's no problem. We normally have 2 or 3, sometimes 4 people online at the same time. You get to see what's going on in the hub as well. And it's just a kit gets sent out to you the week before, that's all. So you have everything ready, so you can join on the day, and you join by Zoom. Right, so that's my little chat. Joanne, just you'll see it back, watch back, but anyone who's shared a picture so far of their makes of the block of the month, you're all going to get one of these little free pens that I've just got printed up, little pink pen, so they'll all be posted out to everybody. So watch out for your inbox, because if I haven't got your address, I'll need your addresses, okay? But I'm going to send them out to you just as a little thank you for taking part, and also for sharing all your beautiful makes. So we are doing, as I said before, on my mini design wall that I made today, we are doing block 4. Now, don't be panicking over this block. I know it looks a bit complicated. You can see from the picture. You're welcome, my darling. So this is, I've designed this so that I have this sort of heart shape in the middle. And you can really go to town on this block, to be honest. Let me just get the line drawing up for you. You can change, it doesn't have to be the heart. You can really change this however you want. As you can see from the line drawing, if you downloaded the pattern, this is line drawing. So you can see how I've played with my background positioning and my coloured pattern fabrics, so you can have a little play around as well. What I suggest you do is maybe photocopy this if you can, and maybe spend some time colouring it in roughly. Sorry, block 4, yeah. Sorry, says, hi Diane, thanks for joining. Did I say 4? Sorry, I meant 5. Block 5. Yeah. So maybe have a little play around colouring in. If you want to follow my design, that's perfectly fine, and the pattern will show you how to do that. But if you want to change it around and come up with your own shape, then that's fine. The important thing about this block is be really organised about where you want your fabrics to go. Because if you don't put the fabric in the right place, you're not going to get the pattern or the design that you want. Particularly if you don't follow my one, you might not get it in the right place. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. So this is the physical block. All right, so this is what we're actually making. Okay, it's killing me to make this in plain fabrics, you know, because I just love all your pattern fabrics, and anyone who knows me knows I love pattern fabrics, so it's absolutely killing me to do this, but I'm persevering because I know it will help. It's the easiest way for you to get up there. Right, so as I said, the design wall, the mini design wall there is just line on, is in place of Dolly. I felt awful pinning Dolly all the time. Right, so getting into, obviously you've got your construction, your cutting instructions again. You see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 4 cutting instructions on this, so there's not an awful lot in it really, and again, you're not doing anything other than what you've already done before in previous blocks. Okay, step 1, the first part of this, step 1, is to make these 4 patches for the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll see in step 1 it does say make the 4 patch blocks using pieces A as per the colour layout on the diagram on page 1. And basically it just tells you in the position of where they go in the block. So if you have a look at, where is it? If you have a look on this line drawing here, you can see I've put the rows on and I've put the columns on, and that's just so to help you, so you know what you're making and where it's going to go in the whole quilt. Because as I said, it can alter and change depending on what you want to do. So these are going to go, these squares go in column 1, row 1. So this is column 1, row 1 and row 4, and column 3, row 1 and row 4. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to do them because you've already done them in block 1. And you've done your sewing your squares together. So you'll make them again, press to the dark side, you're going to nest your seams, and you're going to have those. If you just want to make a note that they're going to finish roughly about 3.5 inches square, so if you want to make a note of that, then go ahead and do that. Just a quick note on the information in the pattern as well. I've written these instructions very briefly so that I can go through the block with you, so you'll get more information about how to make the block in addition to these instructions by watching the lives or watching the videos back on the YouTube channel. Next year, the whole block of the month will be collaborated into one booklet, and there'll be much more detailed instructions in that, which will then go on offer for sale. Hi Kathy, oh, so excited. This time tomorrow we'll be annoying you. Thank you for joining, love. Yeah, so that's why, if you're thinking, oh, why haven't you got any more instructions on this, or why doesn't it say this size, that size, that's the reason why. Okay, because I do want you to sort of come on the lives and sort of learn visually as well as just following these. Okay, so you've made step 1, you've made your 4 patches, that's fine. Okay, so your 4 patches are these little patches here. Okay, me neither, Kathy, get that Prosecco on ice, love. Right, okay, now the next step, step 2, what we're actually going to make is you are going to make this part here. Okay, and I'll just show you on my mini design wall that I just happen to have. This is my mini design wall that I made up. At the start of the video, I explained how I made this, but I've done this rather than pin to dolly. So the piece that we're actually going to make from step 2 is going to go there in the block. Okay, so you can see how this bit gets constructed with those. Okay, so we're focusing on this bit here now. Okay, and we will need to make 2 of those. All right, just bear with, call that. We're going to make 2 of those. Okay, so just bear with. Where's this here? C2 row 4. Right. Okay, that one and that one, this one and this one. Okay, so now if you struggle with your left and your right like I do, you might want to watch how this is laid out. Okay, so in the first part, you're going to take one of your squares, which I think in your pattern is one of your D's. Okay, so you're going to take one of your D's. All right, and what you want to do is you're going to sew one on, I've said in the pattern to match up the 90 degree and 90 degree side with one side of one side of the square. So what you're going to do is you're going to stitch that onto that seam there. Okay, because what we're trying to do here, it's almost like we're trying to do like a flying geese, but we're doing a flying geese with a square, if that makes sense, because normally flying geese are a bit bigger, but it's sort of like a flying geese. So I'm just going to stitch this on now. Okay, again using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if I open this up now, I hope you can see that. If I open this up, we've got one side of this done. Okay, now what we need to do now is we need to add this on, bear with, to the other side, so that when we fold it back, we've got this shape here. Hope you can see that. We've got this shape here. Okay, so you've stitched it on one side, and then you're going to stitch this, so you're matching your 90-degree angle here on the base square. You're matching the 90-degree angle on your right angled triangle into this corner here. We did the same on this one, and if we pin that and we flip it over, what we've got, you see you've got these crossing over your little dog, your dog ears there. You've got this nice triangular shape, and that's what we're trying to do, because we're trying to form this triangular shape here. Okay, now it's confusing to write that, which is why I wanted to show it to you. When the pattern is all, when it's sort of more details added to it next year, there will be photographs as well to show this, but obviously this is why I wanted to do the video. So you've got, if you can see there, the right angle corner of the right angled triangle is on that side, on the left side, and I'm doing the same on this side, and I'm just going to sew that up. Okay, just make sure that you don't get confused and sew up the wrong side, which is what I've done a couple of times today when I was making up the other block, but I wasn't concentrating. And then what you'll see there is when I fold this out, I'll do it so you can see it. Now I've got that nice new triangular shape from two right angled triangles and my square. As you can see, the square sort of on a diamond shape. I've rotated it so it's on a diamond shape. So that's what we've done there. So I'm just going to finger press that for now. You know that you should be setting your seams as you go. I'm just going to finger press that for now, just for speed. Okay, so I want to try and get this done for you tonight. So there we go. All right, then the next step to turn this into a right angle is you'll take two of your B pieces, which are these, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to put them there and we're going to put them there, but you can see that they're slightly bigger. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that that point is in line with the seam. So the simplest thing to do is to fold over, and we've done this before in other blocks, is fold over your triangle. So you can see I've got a nice seam, nice crease in the middle, and then I'm going to match that crease up with the seam on this side here. Okay, and I'm going to pin that in place, and then I'm going to stitch that before I pin the other side on. Okay, so you can see if I just finger press that, fold that back, you can see how we're turning it into a rectangle now. So I'll just repeat with the with piece B for exactly the same on the other side. I'm going to match that seam, that crease up to the seam, just offer it up, pin it in place because I don't want it to move, and you can see when we sew it we're going to get the dog ears at the top again. That's how you know you've got it on the correct side and you're sewing it in the right position as well. Right, so I'm just going to finger press this back. I put hand cream on my hands before, so they're quite warm. Right, so there you can see we've made this piece here, and then what we'll do is we'll sew two of our four patches either side. But before you do that, what I suggest you do is, and you might want to write this down, is this piece needs to be 3.5 inches wide because it has to match these here. Okay, so now's the time to get your ruler and your rotary cutter, she says. There's my rotary cutter. Oh, I hung it up. I was being very tidy and organised. Okay, so I'm just going to get my ruler, and what I'm going to do is on this ruler I've actually got a 45-degree line, so I'm matching the 45-degree line on this ruler here with the seam between B and this piece here, so I know that that is perfect. And then I'm just going to trim, so you can see there's just a little bit that's come off. I'm going to flip it over, and now I've got a relatively straight line on this side that I know is true. Then I can just cut that again, so that's just trimmed nice and neatly. And I'm just going to take this over now to the iron. I know I finger pressed it, but I'm just going to give it a little press now just to set it all off. It should be okay. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so that's done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my pattern, and this one is the top. This is the top, and when you make these, you always want this point pointing away from the centre. So this is the top, so it's pointing up. So for this one, I want that point pointing down. So when I'm looking at my picture, let me just have a look. I need one like that, and I need one like that. So let me just put these on. And there's no matching of these, there's no seams to worry about. That's in the right position, and that one needs to be there. So I'm just sewing the 4 patch that I made from step 1 either side of that. So when you get to step 2, you're going to make 2 of these. Okay, so you'll make these first, then you make 2 of those, and then you can stitch them together, and that will be row 1 and row 4 complete once you've done that. So that's how quick that comes together. That's not overly difficult. I think the only tricky thing really with that is trying to get the trying to make sure that you form that triangle out of the square and the 2 right angle triangles. But I mean, I followed my own instructions and I still got slightly confused. So it, you know, it happens to the best of us. I sometimes don't know my left from my right. Do you know what I mean? So I did have to unpick this morning. But it happens to us all when we're not spot on. You just take your time anyway. And the best thing is, if you're not sure, as I did before, just lay it down and open it out and see if you're getting the right shape. If you're not getting the right shape, then you know why. So basically now I'm just going to take this to the iron. I'm going to press those seams outwards, and that is row 1 and row 4 now done. So I'm just going to set the seam on these. And I'm just going to use the tip of the iron just to poke that seam out. Right, okay, so now I've got that row there, and I've got that row there. Okay, oh gosh. Okay, so now we're going to concentrate on row 2 and row 3. So what we're going to do now is skip forward to step 5. Okay, and it says in your instructions that to create rows 2 and 3, the steps are exactly the same, which they are. It's the colour layout that creates the pattern. So just ensure that you use the correct colours in creating these 2 rows, which is what I said before. So let us just, right, okay. So we are now going to make these pieces, and in the pattern, these are in row column 1 and in column 3 on row 2 and row 3, and you've got one that goes like that, one that goes like that, one that goes, so there's 4 of these that you need to make. Okay, so you're going to take 2 of your bear with, I've got these here, I'll show you now, I'll lay these out here. Okay, so again, these are quite a simple thing to make. You are going to take 2 of your triangles, which I think are your PCs, aren't they? Is that right? Yeah. So you're going to take 2 of your PCs in the relevant colour. Okay, and what you're going to do is you want them to finish looking like this. Okay, so you're going to flip one on top of the other, and you're actually stitching up this 90-degree from this corner here, the 90-degree corner, up to the edge. Okay, so you're stitching up that straight seam there. Just make sure that you get your colour placement right, otherwise it won't look how you've designed your block to look. Okay, so when you stitch that together, you're actually going to press that to the dark side, and you're going to end up with a larger triangle. Okay, and then you're going to take piece B again, and again what we need to do is we need to sew this onto here, but we want to make sure that we are getting this point in line with this seam, which then is in line with that point there. So it's just a simple matter of folding it over and getting a nice crease, matching the crease up with the seam, pinning it in place, and then you're just going to stitch those 2 together. Okay, now what you can do when you're doing these is when you're joining these 2 together, for example, because you've got to make 4 of these blocks, you can actually chain piece. So and obviously chain piecing, if you remember, is where you don't actually cut your thread in between, you just carry on stitching and you join them all together and then a nice long piece of bunting. So we've got that one there, and then I think I've got another one to do here. Yeah, I think I have another yellow one. I'll just check. Yeah, another yellow one. So just while I'm doing that, and I think they are done, aren't they? Yeah, 1, 2. Oh, and I've just got one more to do. So it can be quite quick. You can do all these, you know, all together. Chain piece your 2 right angle triangles together. Press all of them to the dark side, and then you can go back, you can add on your piece B, and then you can chain piece all of those together. So chain piecing is where you end up with things like this. Alright, today I found this really useful. You can get these online now, but I just found it really easy to have that to hand, really. Right, so I've actually chain pieced that block and that block, so they're going to go on the pressing mat. And this one, I just need to finish this one. Okay, so I'm just going to finger press this, so just for speed. And again, I'm just going to press, fold this triangle, fold piece B in half to get a nice crease. I'm going to match that crease up to the seam line, so I know that that is perfectly placed where I want that to be. And then I'm going to stitch this along. Petals moving all over the place. Right, okay, so there you go. I'm going to end up with 4 like this. Now these should finish at 3.5 inch square as well. So if you want to just check your measurements, if they're slightly under, don't panic. You know, if they're an 1/8 under or something like that, it doesn't matter, because your seam allowance will take care of that. Okay, but they should be roughly 3, and I think it's 3.5 for these. Let me just check in a minute anyway. So I think that's what they are. Yeah, I didn't have to trim any of mine down from this morning. They were fine, absolutely fine. But if you wanted to take your dog ears off, by all means do. It's just less bulk in the seams then if you take them off. Okay. Right, so get my little squaring up ruler. So I think they, yeah, so they are practically, yeah, 3.5. So I'm just going to take the dog ears off there. 3.5. Yep. Yep. So, yeah. So just little bits just trimmed off. I mean, you can see there's hardly anything there. It's more dust than anything else. But if you would like to trim, then 3.5 inches, particularly if you're using a scan 1/4 inch, which we talked about in the first video, which is just under, it's like 1 or 2 thread widths away from a 1/4 inch. Then if you're comfortable making your patchwork like that, you might find that you might just have to trim a little bit off. But it's 3.5 inches, so if you want to make a note on your pattern that this should be about 3.5 inches, then that's fine. Okay, so now this one, obviously I've stretched this slightly when I've been stitching it, or the feed dogs have, because obviously all the triangles are on the bias, so they can easily stretch, even though they have been Dr. Beckman'd with starch spray. So yeah, right, so I've made 4 of those. Okay, so they can be set aside now, all right, because the next thing is we need to do the blocks in row 2 and row 3 that go in column 2 and column 3. Now, let me just explain what I've done. So to do those, we're actually going to step 7 and step 8 to form these. Now, what you'll see on this back page, I've drawn this little diagram. So we're actually making these middle shapes here, and you're actually going to form a rhombus shape first part that you're going to do. Okay, you're going to make these rhombus shapes. Pauline, the rulers are the squaring up rulers. So I've got this one and this one. These ones are great. I've got this right up to a 12.5 inch. They're just from Amazon. They're by Sullivan's, called the Edge, or the Cutting Edge. They're not that expensive, and these really are my go-to when I want to square. All my blocks so far that I've squared up to 12 inches have all been done on the 12.5 inch by 12.5 inch. So Pauline, yeah, hi Pauline, by the way. Yeah, they are from Amazon, and they're not overly expensive considering how useful they actually are. Also as well, just to say, any of the edge rulers that you get, what you'll see is you've got this diamond encrusted edge, and that's because every time you run your rotary cutter up against that, it sharpens your blade. So you'll find if you do use these rulers a lot to do your cutting with, you'll find that you don't go through as many rotary cutter blades, and your blades stay sharper for longer. That's just a little tip. When I first got all of mine, I think I changed my blade once in 6 months, and it was a titanium one, and when I took it out to change it, it'd been sharpened that much. It was completely silver around the edge, and there's only a little bit of titanium yellow in the middle. So yeah, so we're going to be making this rhombus shape now. Okay, and to do that, let me just show you, where are we here. So this is the finished part of what we're going to make. So if I just show you here, the first part that we're going to do is we're going to take a square, and we're going to sew a right angle triangle onto this side of the square, and then we're going to flip this over, and we're going to sew it onto this end of the square. So we end up with a shape that looks like that, like a rhombus. Okay, so this is a way of avoiding making this up without having to do any Y seams at all, because if you were going to do this, you could end up with Y seams. So we're not. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm actually going to demonstrate, because I've made that one up already, and that's it in my pattern there. I'm actually going to make this one up here to show you. Okay, so let me get my bits out. And again, this challenged me when I was trying to figure this out, and also to try and write it down about how do I put these on so I sew them on the right way. And again, we're just matching up the right angle corner, sorry, of a right angle triangle with one of the corners of the square underneath. So it's not difficult to make at all. It's just about getting the position right and sewing it on the right side. So basically, if I lay this out, I've got this one, is going to be sewn on like that, and this one is going to be sewn on, I think it's like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's like that. See, even I've forgotten now. So basically I'm going to do this one first. Okay, get this stitched on, just so we can get that rhombus shape. Just makes making these blocks really easy to do. So we've got that shape there. So I'm making this, I'm making this bit here. I'll just show you. I'm making this bit there, this green bit here, and this yellow bit. So I'm making this bit here, okay, which is why on the back page you've got that. So this is the bit I'm making here. So now if you have a look, I've got my square on a diamond shape. I've stitched this on here, but I need to stitch this on, okay, so that, gosh, I forgot which way it goes now. When that flips back, so if I stitch that on like that, I'm going to match that corner, that 90-degree corner up there. When I flip that back, can you see the shape it's made? It's made the rhombus shape. So this long flat bottom of the triangle is here, and I've got it sewn along a right angle seam there, and that's a right angle seam. So when you stitch this on, or just as a little note, if you want to make a note on your pattern, on one side of your triangle, sorry, one side of your square, you've got a triangle that opens out like that, okay, but you're then going to take this and you're going to flip it, so on the opposite side it opens out like that, and you get that shape, that rhombus shape, okay. So that's why I've put that little diagram on there, just to show you. All right, and as I said, you'll make 2 of these in your pattern, and they go in row 2, column 2, and row 3, column 2. So there is my rhombus shape, all done. I'm just going to take that to the iron now, give it a press. Quickly. Right, the next step is we need to start turning our rhombus shape, which is this bit here. We need to start turning it into a rectangle, and to do that we've got to take 2 right angle triangles. We need to stitch them together to form a bigger triangle there, and we need to do exactly the same thing on this side. So I'm going to take an orange and a blue triangle, and I'm going to take 2 blue triangles. I'm going to stitch them together like we did in the previous blocks, so that I create a piece like this, okay. And in my pattern, that is going to sit, where's my rhombus go there, that's my rhombus that way. So in my pattern, oh, I changed that. I think I've changed the colour on this one. There's this one go. 1 second. I've changed this around slightly, but it's okay. So in my pattern, my orange is going to go there, and on this side I'm going to have my 2 plain pieces stitched together there. So I'm just going to stitch these together. Again, it's just matching the triangles up exactly like this. You can pin them if you want to, you don't have to. And I'm stitching this edge here, the 90-degree edge, okay, 90-degree angle edge. I'll try and find a link for the rulers, Tanya, if I can find out where they are. They might have just run out of stock, but I can find out where you can get them from, don't worry. I initially had to get mine from America anyway, but then they did come on. So you can see there, nice little, yeah, okay. So I'm just going to press this. Now, if you want, I've pressed all these to one side or the other because there is a little bit of nesting. But if you want to press all your seams open on this, you can do. It's entirely up to you. Now, so that is how that goes. That goes there and that goes there. Okay. Now, with this piece, when you're joining it together, what you're going to do is you're going to match the left hand side. Is that your left hand side? Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're going to match this seam with this seam, which is why I said that there's a little bit of nesting. So I think I've actually done that the wrong way. So let me just press that again. Obviously, if you don't want to nest, you don't have to, but I'm just going to flip that over. I'm going to nest that like this, and I'm just going to put a clip in that because I want to show you. Okay, that's clipped in. Okay, and then this seam here between the yellow and the green matches this seam down the center of this block. Okay, and again I want to nest, so they're nesting perfectly. All right, and you see when you nest, you can see how you get those perfect points there because they've nested. Okay, so when I stitch this together, you can see how the seams will be because they're nested. So I'm just going to stitch this to show you what I mean. All right, and again, this just needs to be 3.5 inches wide. You're welcome, Tam. Now, if anyone's wondering what I'm having for my tea tonight, I've decided I'm having egg on toast. Because I'm not very hungry tonight, and I just thought I really want something quite simple. So I'm just going to add some egg on toast. I might have a glass of wine with that. That's my birthday tea. Right, so there you can see, I haven't needs pressing, but we've just made that piece there. Okay, so let me just press this. I think I have done that wrong. 1 second. Right. Okay. Let me just check something, guys, because I want to make sure I've got my heart shape there. No. Right. So I thought I could have changed. See, this is where basically. Oh, you haven't, that's it. She might. You never know. She might, Tanya, mightn't she? She likes simple things as well. Must be us Pisceans. I'm just undoing this because basically I'm not going to get my heart shape exactly how I want it to be. Which is where I said, you know, if you don't get your pattern placement right, I thought I could get away with this. And basically I've just stitched the orange onto the wrong side of the blue. That's all it is. It's a simple thing, but it's just a good idea to check. But I thought it'd be all right, but obviously not. And I do want this to have the heart shape, so I'm just undoing this again. These have all been best pressed before so even though I'm ripping these out, there shouldn't be any over stretching because they've all been starched, so it's quite stiff, this. Right, okay, let me just get these out here. Yeah. Right, okay. So if you do make a mistake, just go back and just unpick it. We all make mistakes, don't we? So, and for this one, as I said, what I did notice with this one is, like, if you really want to get that hard shape, you do have to focus and concentrate on where you want things to be. What should have happened is I should have had the orange here, and I didn't. Had a blue, and I had the orange, and I thought it'd be fine, but it's not fine. So I just need to change these around. So that's fine. 1 second, I've changed these around and I think it should be alright, she says. Famous last words. Okay. 1 second. Let me just check where I'm up to. Right, so I needed that on that side and that on that side, yeah. No. That side, that's how, see, that's exactly how I wanted it to be, like this, and I had it stitched the other way. So I'm just going to hopefully get this stitched the right way now. So what I'd done is I'd stitched it down this edge, and I should have stitched it that edge, and that's purely because I probably didn't pin it when I took it to the machine, so I've lost the positioning. If I'd have pinned it and realised I was sewing up this edge, it would have been perfect, as you can see. So it's little things like that really that, if you know, it's a simple thing, you wouldn't think it would make a difference, but it does. So it's just a simple matter of sewing this again. I'm just going to give this a press because I think it'll be, excuse me, I think it'll be easier. Okay, so instead of me stitching down there now, I'm stitching along this one. It's still a straight edge, but that's the reason why I went wrong on that one. No, don't do egg fried rice, just have it on toast. It's gorgeous. Egg on toast, lovely, innit? Might even put a bit of cheese under my egg. Right, so I'm just going to nest these seams again here, and hopefully, yeah, that's fine. There you go. I'm pinning it now. Right, very keen to have that glass of wine tonight. It's been a long time since I've had a nice glass of wine. So I've got the children around this evening as well. Be nice. Particularly as my youngest told us last night that he's actually going to move to St Austell temporarily for 3 months, just for a trial flat share with his partner. So that was a little bit of a shock. Yeah, I never thought that was going to happen. Thought we were never going to get rid of him, but I don't know whether it'll work out. So that will depend on whether work will still be flexible with him or not. So so I've done that now. You can see it's right, okay. It means now when I join this in the block together, can you see I've got, let me just get this down. Can you see I've got the heart shape there? Okay. So if you did want to make like a little mini hearts blocks, you could just actually use the pattern and just make loads of these up and just, you know, design them yourself. But I'm just going to trim this one down again to 3.5 inches just to make sure that that's right. I think it should be. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. There's nothing to do. I'm just going to take the dog ears off, basically. There's nothing to take off on that at all. Right, so we've now done all of the blocks. We've made all the pieces that we needed to start joining these up together. So I'm going to start joining row 2 up. So my row 2, I'll lay these, where's those squares gone? Okay, my row 2 has a blue on that side, and all of these are going to go, these are all going to be pointing up, okay, and it has a yellow on that side. So that's my row 2. So you can see I'm just joining it together the way we did with row 1 and row 4. It's just a different type of blocks that you've had to make, okay. So these, it's not a difficult block to make. It's the positioning I found to create that pattern is what's causing, well, it's what's caused me a little bit of unpicking. But you know, if you just take your time over it and make sure you colour in your little line drawing. Yeah, so I'm just colouring your line drawing so you know exactly where all your fabric placement needs to be. I think you won't go wrong really. And hopefully the video's helped you to see, you know, you've got 3 parts to each row, and then there's 4 rows, and it's as simple as that. So that's that row done. Yeah, quick that come apart. And then basically these are going to form diamonds here on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to join these together, and then I'm going to press the seams and set the seams again, and then I'm going to join these 2 together, and then the only thing I need to do then after that is just to join all 4 rows together. So if you bear with, and we'll get this done. Okay, So because I'm joining these here in the middle, what I want to do is I want to nest the seams on these, okay? So I'm going to press one where the seams go this way and one where the seams go that way, and then when I turn them on top of each other, then they should nest really, really well. What's on the wall behind you, sis? Right, okay, so now, can you see those there? They are hexagon Manx log cabin blocks. I started doing scrappy ones a couple of years ago, and I found them the other day and I thought I need to finish them. I'm gonna finish them and just make a really scrappy quilt. I'm not quite sure what for, but I noticed today there was an advert on Sewing Street, and White Gecko are actually bringing Manx log cabin to Sewing Street, which is nice because obviously, you know, I love it. It's a bit galling because that's what I got through in the search for Star to present, but I pulled out because of ill health at the time, and there's no way I could do it. So, but I mean, White Gecko, I know the ladies from White Gecko, and they're absolutely lovely. So hopefully you'll see more Manx on there. But also I've pulled them out because we've got time. I'll show you this quickly. This is the Tilda collection for the Manx log cabins for the Festival of Quilts Manx workshops that I'm doing. I just need to get one more dark green, and then that's all ready to be cut up. So it's all Tilda again, all Tilda chambrays. So that's all ready to go. So that's sitting there. Just need to get a darker green. But just if you are a guild member, a Quilters Guild member, if you go onto your guild online account, there's a link in there so you can actually now pre-book all your workshops for Festival Quilts in the end of July, beginning of August. And you do get a discount off your tickets, not off your workshops though, but you definitely get a discount off your tickets. You can go on and book all your workshops, you can book your tickets, you can book your VIP tickets if you want. sorry Tanya, but yeah, if you go into Festival Quilts, you'll be able to you'll have one of the fabric will be in the kits. I've got lovely bags this year as well. I've started to get all the little bits and bobs that go in the kits as well, because you know with me you always get a bit of extra in the kit, you don't just get your fabric. So the kit for I think they've kept the price the same this year. Don't quote me on this. I'm sure they've left the price of the workshop at £28, which I think for a 90-minute workshop with a full kit provided to make 4 Manx log cabin panels, which is enough to make a cushion, as you know, I think it's pretty good going, to be honest. I think that's really good value for money, particularly when you know I'm using Tilda, and we all know Tilda isn't cheap, but I just think if you're paying your good money to come and do a workshop with me, I'm going to make sure you've got some good fabric. And you know I love Tilda, so I'm just joining these two together. So I pressed it so I can nest the seams, and all I'm doing here is, because I want this point, I'm just putting a needle in to match those points. See there, I'm just putting a pin in just to match it, because I want to make sure, I'm just going to put a clip on there, I don't want that to move, and I want to make sure that when my 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and I'll just show you here because there. So when I'm doing my 1/4 inch seam allowance, I want to make sure that my seam allowance does not go this side of that sewn point there. I want it this side here, because I don't want to lose a point off the heart. So yeah, so I'm just going to get this stitched up. Now I'll get the other 2 pieces on, and then that's block 5 done. The seam allowances in these can be quite bulky, so what I've done is I've actually pressed all the seams open once it's all joined together, because I just think, oh god, do you know what, make sure you stitch it on the right side. Sorry, I'm going to show you that one. Look, I wasn't paying attention. was getting too excited about the workshop, so let me just show you. So listen, I just want you to see we all make mistakes, don't we? Oh, bummer. Never mind. I'll get it undone. So I've been like this all day today. It's one of them days, you know, when you sit at the machine, you think, should I really be sewing? But I was convinced, I was like determined today. I am now live still, Lucy Pixley, only for another 5 minutes, my dear, and then I'm going to enjoy a glass of wine with 2 fried eggs on toast, and I'm thinking of having a slice of cheese underneath those eggs as well, because it is my birthday. So, how's your hair, Lucy? Do you look all glam and gorgeous? Not like me with me grey. I might put a colour on tomorrow, I haven't quite decided yet. Because Kathy's just come back from Dubai, so she'll all be golden tanned and looking healthy and refreshed. And I'm going to go over there looking pale and grey. Never mind. Never mind. I think it's going to be cold over there as well, so might take a big coat. So yeah, so when you're putting when you're putting row 2 and 3 together, concentrate. Don't get all excited about your festival quilts and workshops, which I am. I'm really excited. Eek, I can't wait. It was exciting going on. I've booked a couple of workshops for myself to do. I'm going to make a pair of slippers on Sunday morning out of felt, so that's going to be good. On the Saturday, I'm doing, I think it's called, oh god, it begins with an S. I forget what it's called, but you know where you put mirrors in embroidery? You sew mirrors in embroidery. Doing that, and then on the Thursday afternoon, I'm doing Swedish embroidery. I'm gonna have an instruction, so that's a 90, oh, that's a 2-hour class actually. So I can't wait for that one. So I was all excited, booking all on to all my courses, and on the Thursday I've got no classes, so it's gonna be good. I'm not doing any workshops myself on the Thursday, so I'll be able to go and have a good look around the quilts, and a good look around the stalls, see what's on offer. But I think I'll save me spending till the Sunday and see if I can get any deals before it shuts. Right, now make sure you've got your heart the right way and nest your seams properly, okay? Don't do as Netty does and get distracted and excited by Manx log cabins. So sew them on upside down. But we all have them days, don't we, where you just think, I should just stop it now. I should just stop it. Right, I'm just matching up those points again. So I'm happy with that. Okay, right. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get this right now, eh? Oh, do you know what? I did a good clean out of my machine today, and I did a little, well, I thought I was doing a little video because honestly she was so dirty. Because I'd actually had to use moon thread in the machine for the first time in ages, because it was a colour that I only had that colour. I didn't have it in Gooseman, and I was doing some dressmaking a couple of weeks ago. So I had to use this moon thread. Well, you should have seen the state of my machine. I've put a picture on, but I did a little video, and oh my gosh, I couldn't believe. Okay, right, so it's not perfect, but it will do. It's fine. Okay, so this is what I've now got my heart block row 2 and row 3 done. Okay, so now the next step is just a simple matter of joining the top and the bottom on. Okay, so, and again, because we have pressed these and nested the seams, we can start nesting again, which just makes it easier to join. It just makes sure then that if you're nesting your seams, and I'm just going to quickly whiz this because I would like to show you that it is done. You can make, as I said, you can make these blocks in an hour, okay, but it's not a rush, you know. It's not a race. So you just take your time and do it exactly however long you want it to take. There's 16 blocks in this whole series. If after watching this video you just think, oh, I don't want to do that block, you don't have to make it up. You know what I mean? There's lots of other blocks come in. The main block I've decided as well, the last block, block 16, which is, it sort of pulls all of your skills together that you've learned making this. I'm going to actually offer that in foundation paper pieced as well, so there'll be 2 ways of making that block. So I'm hoping, oh gosh, I've not nested that properly, bear with Cole, let me just nest that properly. Yeah, so that last block is going to be offered in foundation paper pieced and also traditional pieced. So you've got a couple of ways of making that if you want, and you'll get all the here to download all the papers. Okay, so that is the bottom block added on. So as I said, we want it to be pointing down, as you can see from the design wall. We want this point pointing down, and I'm just going to sew the top one on, and then we are done for block 5. I'm going to neaten the back up after. There's threads that need cutting, there's dog ears that need cutting, but basically it's just a simple matter of matching, nesting your seams like such, like that. And then I would go in afterwards and I would press all of those 4, 1, 2, 3 joining seams. I would press them open really, just so you can try and get your block as flat as possible. Now just, yeah, make sure I'm nesting properly on this, which I am. Right. Oh God, I'm glad you like it. So do I, Tanya. I absolutely love it as well. So there you go. That is block 5 made. I'm just going to give that a good press, okay. And you can see I've managed to retain the heart there because I turned this orange piece back, because remember when I made the mistake, I put a blue there and then the orange there, so I wouldn't have got my heart in the right place really. I would have had a broken heart. But that's block 5. I'm going to give it a good press, and you'll end up with, once you've done that, you'll end up with something like this, and then all the seams are just pressed open on the back side. Okay, so I hope that's been useful. As I said, if you find making one of these useful as well, it's always handy to have this. This is big, but it's because I can hang it up out of the way, and I might use it for bigger blocks as well, because I've got a big foundation paper piecing project that I want to do, which I really need something like this. So this again is just sticky backed fleece, or you can just glue fleece onto whiteboard, which I got from Hobbycraft. It was bits I had left over, and I just put some, I had these are shower clips, I just put these on. It's going to hang on my design wall over there, okay. And yeah, and you can see that when you put your stuff on it, it sticks perfectly well. It's exactly what design walls should look like. You can put pins in this if you want, just be careful because it's not overly. Put them in an angle, it'll be fine if you want to put pins in. But yeah, it's a nice little handy thing to have. So now I've got, got 2 of these now, again. So yeah, and when you yeah, when you iron that out, it will come to about, I think mine, I ended up trimming about 1/4 of an inch in total off, so about 1/8 of an inch off each side. But I'm just going to press those seams open now, and then that's done. So thank you to everybody for joining me on my birthday live. And I knew when I had to cancel the other week because obviously I wasn't very well. I knew it'd been my birthday, but I don't mind, you know. It's been nice to have everyone on here. I really do love the fact that everyone's taking part. And don't forget, if you do share, I've lost it now, if you do share pictures of your blocks as you make them, everyone will get a free Netty Made pink pen. I think it's black ink, if I remember rightly. Yeah, black ink. It's not an iron-off pen, it's a proper ballpoint pen, so if you need to make any notes as you go, you'll have a nice little pen there. So I've been waiting for a while for them to come through, which is why I've only just got them in. So I'll get them all, you know, as you know, I'm off to Ireland tomorrow. I've told you I'm off to Ireland tomorrow with the lovely Lucy. So yeah, I'll send them all out. So I'm coming down now.
Your tea will be 5 minutes.
All right, my tea's going to be 5 minutes. I'm going to have to go, ladies, because and gentlemen. So, Anthony, if you're still here, yeah, my fried eggs with cheese will be done. So, thank you ever so much. Don't forget, if you missed at the start, these Prim iron cleaners are an absolute godsend. You can get them from Lucy's store. She's a Prim rep now, so she's got loads of nice Prim stuff. But I used this today on my Aliso and it worked like an absolute dream. And I didn't end up poisoning myself either, which is a blooming good thing. And then finally, if anybody wasn't here for it, the bee quilt. This is going to be quilted soon. So the bee quilt is a workshop that will be running in May. If anybody wants to to join, they can do. Just go to Lucy So Pretty So Mindful, book on there. If you want to do it online, please do. I've got the best hack in the world. That means that potentially you could be leaving the workshop with your work top, your quilt top, sorry, your patchwork top fully stitched, because it's so much easier. Thank you, Anthony, for joining. Yeah, you'll have to don't forget to keep me updated if you start running any of your classes and that, won't you, my love? Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you to everybody who's joined today, and I will see you all soon. I'll post block 6 up in a couple of weeks. It'll probably be not next week, probably be beginning of April, I think. It might be, or the last day in March, this 1st of March, is that a Wednesday? I might do it then, okay, but we're up to block 6 there. We've only got 10 more to do, and we're only at the end of the 3rd month of the year. So thank you for joining. Thanks, sis. Love you lots. And thank you to everybody for my birthday wishes today, and for all the lovely goodies and gifts that I've got. Take care. Bye, everybody. Bye. Have a lovely evening.